So there are different format specifiers when we will be making use of say int. Okay, so suppose you want to say, let us have one variable, say a, and I want to input value to this. Okay, since I have not, this is just a variable declaration statement, I have declared a variable a of data type integer. Okay, now I have to give some values to it. Okay, I will be giving user input, that means the user will be giving the input. So for that you have to use the, for giving input you will be using the scanf function. Okay, open the bracket. First you have to mention the format specifier inside the double quotes, you give the double quotes. Now what is the format specifier for integer? It is %d. Okay, %d is the format specifier for integer. Okay, it refers to integer values. Now because you are storing an integer value inside a, fine. Now how are you going to refer to that address? Using ampersand a. Okay, so you are going to store the value, that integer value, in this particular memory location. So this refers to address of a. Okay, so you have to reach that location to store the value there. Fine, so this is how you will be writing your scanf statement given any type of value. Okay, so this is the syntax, actual format of writing scanf statements, and this is one example. Suppose you want to, okay, now %d is actually for decimal integer values. Okay, okay, there are again different representations for integer. Okay, this is for decimal. Let me just mark it here. This is for decimal integer values. Next, suppose uh, you use unsigned integer. Okay, for unsigned integer your format specifier will be %u. This is for unsigned integer. Okay, so if you write here unsigned, okay, if you write unsigned int a, then this d will not work. For that you have to make use of %u. So this is for unsigned integer. Next again, for say octal values. Okay, because we can use decimal number system also for integers. For integers, you know, we can use decimal number system also, octal number system also, which is base 8, and hexadecimal number system also, which is base 16. So depending on the various bases, this is for base 10, yes, then this is for unsigned. Okay, and so this is for signed. So when you don't see, this is for unsigned. The class is on record.
কাৰণ পূজাত সময়তো যাবলৈ তেনেকে নহব ন।
Okay. See. Okay. So when you write only int, okay, that means it is signed. That means it can be positive number also, negative number. So it's a default integer. So for that you use only d. But when you specifically mention unsigned integer, that means it will only refer to the positive numbers or 0. Then you have to make use of %u. Okay, for unsigned. Then as I said, for this is for decimal values. When you use when you want to use octal values, okay, base 8 values, for that you will have to use %o, small o. Fine, this is for octal values. Next is %x for hexadecimal values. Okay, this is for hexadecimal values. So these are the various format specifiers for representing integers in all the 3 base systems, as well as for unsigned numbers. Okay, now, so these were for int. Okay, now talking about float. Suppose you have declared a variable as float type. Okay, say float b. Now how are you going to represent it? You have already seen we use %f. Okay, I'm not going to write all the statements here. So here instead what you will write, simply have to write float f. Okay, float f %b, because you are now going to read the value for b. Okay, so %b and float f. F is for floating point. Okay, and when you want to represent the floating point in terms of exponential notation, then you have to use e. But this is, we hardly use this. We mainly use f. Okay. Next we have character. So if you want to enter a single character or some strings, okay, it can be a character, it can be a single alphabet, it can be mixture of alphabets and digits. So if you want to enter character, okay, the data of character type, for that you have to use, you have two specifiers. One is %c, this is to represent a single character, okay, to represent a single character. And then you have %s, this is to represent string of characters, okay. So this is all you have to know for scanf. Okay, so basically what I told you, that scanf is used to read or input values of variables using the keyboard. Okay, so this is the syntax. Then I explained what the address of operator is and why we use it here, why we want it with scanf, and the format specifiers for the various data types, be it float, be it character, or be it int. Okay, this is for float or double both. Huh? Anyways. Next, okay, is scanf clear? Is scanf clear? Printf is the same, okay? Printf is the same. I told you that printf is used. It is also input output function. It is basically an output function that we use to display values, okay? To print or display values on the standard output device monitor. Okay, so here we will be displaying values on the monitor. For that you have to make use of the printf function, and always remember functions are always used with braces, do not forget that. Okay, now for printf, again this it is, I'm just copy pasting this because it almost looks the same. Okay, the syntax is almost the same except that the name of the function is different, printf. And then you also you will have format specifier even in here, and followed by the variables that you want to display, okay, the values that you want to display. Okay, so with printf we do not use ampersand because once you read values in that memory location, okay, once you reach that once you reach that memory location to store values, your address already gets, the address is already maintained for next what to say, next operation, so you can directly access those locations. So for printf, when you want to access the values again from those memory locations, now you need not use ampersand because you already previously referred to that memory location to store values. Okay, so that will already be available, so you simply have to display the values now, that is it. Okay, so it almost looks like the same as the scanf. Okay, for format specifier, again for integer if you use int, okay, it will be a %d, for unsigned it will be %u o x, for float or double it is f, okay, or e, then for single character it is c, and for string of values of character it is %s. Okay, so depending on the data type that you use, you have to use the format specifiers. Okay, now is it clear? Can I directly now go to the programs? Have you understood this? Wow, say something.
Ma'am,
What?
ma'am, is it print?
Okay, we were in the let me just open the previous program. Spare root, we were in this. Yes, okay, I was in this, I stopped midway. Okay, so we were discussing this program, right? I explained the purpose of clear screen, that is used to clear the output screen. Okay, so every time you run your program, every time you go to your monitor output screen, your results must be clear. Your former programs results that you obtain must not be there. The screen must be clear. So for that purpose, we make use of clear screen. Okay, otherwise a lot of confusions are created. It becomes problematic to read the current output of the program. So that is why we first clear the screen and then we go for the next program output. Okay, so that is why we use clear screen. This is also a built-in program, built-in function. Now you see here, we were dealing with a number num. Okay, since num is a float type, that is why we have used %f. Fine, with scanf, comma ampersand num. Then this statement was simply to calculate the value of the square root, and whatever value you got, that value will be stored in the variable root. Okay, so here we have only two printf statements. That means what? As depending on the number of printf statements you have in your program, that many, those many statements will be executed on your output screen. You can view only those statements. Okay, whichever statements you have placed inside printf, only those will be displayed on the output screen. So here we have, although we have multiple statements in our program, but our output will display only the first printf and the second printf statements only. Okay, the rest are only for processing or for input. They are not meant for display. Okay, so when, as you saw earlier, that when I tried to run the program initially, then what did you see? First, this particular message was being displayed, enter the number. So here we are like letting the user enter a number. Okay, and once the user enters the number, okay, presses any number and presses the enter key. Okay, once the enter key is pressed, immediately that number will be taken as the %f. Okay, that is the format specified. It will be considered represented as a float number, and it will be stored in the location pointed by num. Okay, referred by the num variable. Okay, so it will directly go and get stored there. After that, we will be performing a square root operation on that number. That is why we have used the built-in function sqrt. Okay, we have not written any mathematical formula here, as you can see, to calculate the square root. Why we don't need? Because we already have a readily available function to calculate the square root, so better we use it. Okay, we better we minimize our workload. So that is what we did. We have simply directly made use of the square root function, including the map.h header file, because it belongs to this particular file. So using this function, your square root will be calculated and it will be stored in root. Okay, so the next, after this statement, the next statement that is going to be displayed is the next printf statement, which is square root of 9 equal to 3. Now we have already seen that we cannot write 9 and 3, because for every other number that you will be entering, this will remain the same. I told you already that we have gone through string constant, that I have told you that if you want to represent a string constant means a constant in the form of some string. Okay, so constants, as you know, that they never change even during the program execution. So whatever you place inside these double quotes, that will be represented as a string constant. And string constant, because it's a constant, it will remain fixed throughout your program execution. Even if you take, say, a number 25 here for num, and you get the root as 5, still whatever is written inside these double quotes, that only will be displayed, nothing else. Okay, so you have already seen this in the previous class I showed you. Now suppose I mention here num and root. Now let's see what we get. Okay, let me just save it first. Okay, we have a warning. Anyways, let us ignore the warning. Let us move towards, okay, enter the number. Okay, say I'm entering 25. See, square root of num equal to root. So as I said, whatever you place inside your double quotes, it will be displayed that way only. Okay, now instead of this, suppose instead of num, I am representing num as %f. Okay, because num is a float type, and again root is also a float type, and therefore I am also representing this as %f. Then to specify that what is this %f representing, I will write the words. Okay, I write the variables just after closing the string. Okay, and after the comma. So here I'm mentioning the first %f represents the number num. Okay, and the second %f, which is the result. Okay, that is represented by root. Now you see, save it, enter the number 25. See, square root of 25.0000 equal to 5.0. Why in decimals? Because we have taken float value. Okay, because we have taken float value, so we have obtained the answer in decimal, in terms of decimal numbers. but this is the correct answer, as you can see. So instead of num, okay, instead of %f, what do you get here? 25.0. That means it is the number, yes, that you entered. And what do you get instead of the %f after the equal sign? What was that %f representing? That was representing the root where you stored the result. So what is the result that you get now? It is 5.0. Okay, so these are nothing but these are simple representations of the various variables that you use in your program. Okay, and depending on the data type, you have to make use of that format specifier. Okay, so now if you exchange this, suppose I write root here. Okay, I write root here. If you say that, ma'am, can we write it in any order? Okay, fine, you are writing root here and writing num here. Now let us see what we get. Again, I'm using the same numbers. See, square root of 5 is equal to 25. So have you understood the logic? Whichever number you want to specify first, that variable you have to mention first. Okay, so here square root of, I had to give 25, but what do I get here? 5, because I have mentioned root first and then I have mentioned the number later. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, so this order is wrong. You have to mention num first and then the root. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear till here, this program?
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
What would you want me to repeat?
Ma'am, from float.
From float, ইয়াৰ পৰা
Yes, ma'am.
ইমান যে বুজালো কিয় বুক কোৱা নাছিলা? লাষ্ট ক্লাছতো তো বুজাই আছিলো। সি মই কি তুমি বুজি কি পোৱা নাই কোৱাচোন? আচ্ছা, scanf printf তো বুজি পাইছা নে নাই? scanf printf কিয় ইউজ কৰো?
Yes, ma'am.
ওকে, এইমাত্ৰ যে মই এইখিনি যে বুজালো যে এইটো printf statement যে বুজালো why we use %f or what if we directly use num and root here or the numbers here, সেইখিনি বস্তু বুজি পাইছা নে নাই ডিফাৰেন্স টু?
Ma'am, সেইখিনি পাইছো।
Paisa, no? Okay, fine. See, Yarpra, what I have done is I am to calculate the square root of a number. What you mean by a square root? Yes, x raised to 1 by 2 is square root. Okay, x means the number. So you have to give a number as input. Okay, so that you will have to give a user input. Fine. Tumaluk eta user input dibo lagibo. So that depends upon the user, whatever input he wants to give. And depending on that input given, the square root will be calculated. Okay, so for that you need two variables, one to store the input value and the second to store the result obtained after calculating the square root. That is why we have taken two variables. Okay, float, why float? Because your number that you take, okay, suppose you have taken 25, okay, the result is 5, but what if you take 26? Okay, suppose let me just show you and suppose you take 26 here, it will definitely be some decimal value. The square root, as you can see, it is some decimal value, it is not a whole number. Yes, so the square root can be any number. It can be an integer also, it can be, means it can be a whole number also, it can be a decimal number also. So better you take decimal. Okay, otherwise you might lose the you might lose values even if you give your int. Let us see. Okay, it was the important one, what data type to take, that you have to understand. Okay, suppose again I give 26 here. See, square root, domain error, you get an error here. Okay, Ocha, why you get an error? Because you have used ff, the specifiers are wrong. Okay, that is why you have got an error. Anyways, wasn't d, because I have taken the num and root to be int. Okay, so that is why you have to make changes accordingly, because num, root are all integer values, so we have to take %d here. Okay, suppose I take 26. Anyways, see, square root of 26 equal to 0. Okay, square root of 26. So as you can see, 26 here, you are getting a value of 0 because the square root function actually to hobo nalagisila 0 to hobo nalagisila, it should have given some value into it. I'll later on check what this error is, domain error. I'll check it a bit later. Most probably because it could not calculate the square root of this number. It can calculate, but it will have to return some decimal number, but it is not returning the number. So I'll have to check the error. I'm quite unsure about the error that I have received now. That I will check and let you know in the next class. But for the time being, just let us just discuss for float only. Okay. Okay. GN Acha, আমি করেছিলু okay, you have taken two variables float, okay, of float type. Now clear screen বুঝি পাইছা, clear screen we use to clear the output string, okay, so that
Yes,
we
ma'am.
don't have the previously obtained output on the screen. Next is printf statement. So this the first statement that you will be getting on your output screen is this printf statement. Okay, what do we have here? We are simply letting the okay. So what are we doing here? So this is a message that will be displayed as it has been written. Okay, so everything has been written inside double quotes, so it's a string constant. So whatever you have written, that way it will be displayed on the monitor screen. Enter a number. So now you will let the user enter a number. Okay, so this is just a message to the user asking him or her to enter a number. Now you have to enter the number. So once you type the number and you press the enter key, okay, that number will be taken as the input, and that is the work of the scanf function, because we use the scanf function to read values. Okay, so once you press the keys from your keyboard, whatever value is being pressed, that will be taken as an input by the scanf function. Okay, and that will be the format for float is %f, because we are using float numbers here. Okay, so format is float f, so it will that number, particular number, will be represented as %f, okay, internally. And where is that number stored? It is stored in %num. That means means it is stored in the address. Okay, it is stored in the address of that particular memory location, which is being referred by the variable num. Fine. So that is why we have to, for with scanf we are using ampersand symbol, means you have to store the value in the address, okay, of the memory location. So that address you will specify using the ampersand operator. Next, we are simply calculating the square root of that number using the built-in function. I told you this multiple times. Square root is a library function. So to use this library function, we have a math.h file included in our program. Okay. So if you don't use this file, you will get an error. Okay. So you have to use this file to be able to use this function. Then square root, inside the bracket I have mentioned the number, because it is the number, it is this number on which I am performing the square root. Okay, so this is called the argument. When we, when you place the variable inside the function, okay, that we call as an argument. So any variable placed inside the brackets of a function is known as argument or parameter. Okay, so this is an argument num, because I am to calculate the square root of num, and whatever you get, okay, the value that you will be receiving, that value will be stored in the root variable. So whatever result you get, that value will be stored in root. And in the second printf statement, what am I displaying? I'm simply displaying square root of %f equal to %f. So this %f is nothing but num. So num will get replaced by this, and this will get replaced by num. Okay, whatever the number you had taken, the number was taken to be, say 9. So it will be displayed as 9 here for this %f, and for this %f it will be displayed as the answer that you received after calculating the square root, which is 3. Okay, so the root contained 3, so this %f will be replaced by the root variable, means the value stored in the root variable, which is which is 3. Okay, so this actually denotes the values that are stored here in this. Okay, the decimal values which are stored in these variables. That is all. Next we have, I have given one I have given one another built-in function, which is getCH. I have not mentioned about getCH. So this is another built-in function. Let us see what if I do not use this getCH function. Okay, first let us see what if I do not use this getCH function. I'm simply compiling. Just enter a number 5. What do you see? Did you get the output? Did you get the output?
No, ma'am.
I'm compiling. See, I have the output screen now. I'm asked to enter a number, say 9. I will press the enter key. That if after I press the enter key, I should have obtained the result. Yes, but let me just enter. No. What do I get? I get back to the previous editor screen. Okay, so what does this mean? You got the output. Okay, your program is correct. You also got the output. Fine. If you had not got the output, then the black screen would not have appeared. Because you got the output, so the black screen appeared. You press the you gave the input, and then your output appeared. But problem is you could not view it immediately. The screen was being transferred back to this blue screen. Okay, so what does this mean is it is not related. Getch function is not related to getting or not getting the output. Okay, if your program is correct, you will get the output. Problem is to keep the screen on hold, to keep the output screen on hold. ठीक है, स्क्रीन को होल्ड करके रखना चाहिएगा. अब if you want to see your output final result, fine. So if I want to view the output on my output screen, I will have to hold the screen for some time. Okay, for that we have another built-in function which we call the getch. This means it is get character. Okay, so what is the basic purpose of this particular, like this is also a library function. Okay, just hold on. Just one minute. Okay. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, see, what is the purpose of the getch function? Getch means get. Get means read. Okay, read or input. Okay, the other word for reading is also get. Fine. Getch means get character. That means when this function is displayed, you have to press a character. You have to press any key from the keyboard. Okay, so when this the basic definition, the basic purpose of this particular function is to read a character from the keyboard. Okay, the basic purpose is to read a character from the keyboard. So when this function will be displayed, okay, getch, so it simply lets the user, it simply tells the user to enter any key from the keyword, and when that key is pressed, the value, okay, the value of the key that was being pressed, that value is read or taken as the input. Okay, the basic meaning is that. But here why we do it, because first we simply use at the getch function at the end, mainly because we want to keep the screen on hold. So what happens is, you see, since I have used it here, let us again check. Okay, enter the number, say 25. See, I got the value. Yes, I got the value. My screen is still on hold. Now, because I have used the getch function, what does this say? I have to input a value now. I have to read a character from the keyboard. Now I will press any key from the keyboard. Okay, that value will be taken as the input and I will be taken back to the former screen. Okay, I have pressed a value G. Then I get this back. Okay, so the basic purpose of getch is to read or get a value from the keyboard. That is it. And until you read that value from the keyboard, until you press any key on the keyboard, जो black screen है, it will be still there. ठीक है? and if you do not use this, your program will work fine, it will execute, the output will be there. Problem is because your screen could not be held for a longer time, that is why you cannot view the result. Okay, problem is you will not be able to view the result, but results are here. Okay, so that is the difference. That is why we use get ch at the end. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so have you understood this one,
Yes,
get
ma'am.
ch now? So once you get
Yes,
the
ma'am.
output, okay, once you get the output, मतलब problem क्या होता है कि if you do not use this get ch ना, you will get the output. ठीक है, यहाँ तक पूरा execute होगा. After that immediately return 0 हो जाता है ना. So what happens is the execution ends there immediately, because just after this statement you have what? You have the return 0 statement. Okay, if you do not use get ch, just after this printf statement you have return 0. So once this is, once this statement is executed, the user does